10 Reasons We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Better Than You Think by Hans Rosling. In my view, the best 3 ideas from Factfullness will help us understand and consume the news and greatly improve our understanding of the world. Learn to understand the news. Bronze medal idea. Learn to consume the news more factfully by spotting the drama without becoming stressed or hopeless. Realize the news is not very useful for understanding the world. It is not a journalist's role to present the world as it really is. Journalists will always have to compete to engage our attention with exciting stories and dramatic narratives. They will always focus on the unusual rather than the common, and on the new or temporary rather than on slowly changing patterns. Remember that journalists must compete for their consumers' attention or lose their jobs. It's pretty much a journalist's professional duty to make any given event, fact, or number sound more important than it is. They are forced to give a distorted worldview. Systemic factors encourage them to produce skewed and overdramatic news. Expect bad news. That's the silver medal idea. Why? Good news is not newsworthy and is almost never reported. The news is almost always bad. When you see bad news, ask whether equally positive news would have reached you. An example of this is the 40 million invisible planes in 2016. That year, a total of 40 million commercial passenger flights landed safely at their destinations. Only 10 ended in fatal accidents. Of course, those were the ones the journalists wrote about. 0.000025% of the total. Safe flights are not newsworthy. In addition, the media cannot resist tapping into our fear instinct. It is such an easy way to grab our attention. Yet, here is the paradox. The image of a dangerous world has never been broadcast more effectively than it is now, while the world has never been less violent and more safe. So when we get negative news, remember that bad news is much more likely to reach us. When things are getting better, we often don't hear about them. This is a systemic problem, giving an impression of the world that is too negative, which is very stressful. Get a fact-based worldview. That's the gold medal idea. The fact-based worldview is more useful for navigating life and it's more comfortable. The fact-based worldview sees that step by step, year by year, the world is improving. There aren't any countries where child mortality has increased because the world in general is getting better. In fact, almost every country has improved by almost every measure over the past 200 years. The most credible statistics show us that bad things are decreasing. There is less legal slavery, fewer oil spills, fewer plane crash deaths, less child labor, fewer HIV infections, fewer deaths from disaster, less nuclear arms, fewer children dying, fewer battle deaths, less smallpox, fewer smoke particles, less ozone depletion, less hunger. The official United Nations data shows that the good things are increasing. More child cancer survivors, more girls in school, more women can vote, more species are being monitored, more electricity coverage, bigger harvests, more access to clean water, greater literacy, more democracy. By contrast, every group of people I ask thinks the world is more frightening, more violent, more hopeless, in short, more dramatic than it really is. This overdramatic worldview is stressful and misleading. Sadly, this is the picture that most Westerners see in the media and carry around in their heads. The majority of people think the world is getting worse. No wonder we are all feeling so stressed. The author had met many people who told him that they had lost all hope for humanity. It is easy to be aware of all the bad things happening in the world. It's harder to know about the good things. It's harder to know of the billions of improvements that are never reported. What I show is mostly just official UN data. As long as people have a worldview that is so much more negative than reality, pure statistics can make them feel more positive. It is comforting as well as inspiring to learn that the world is much better than you think. A new kind of happy pill. Smile.